Hi, and welcome back to Blue Chair Conversations, where you can be real, raw, and true and authentic with yourself. Here we talk about real life and how that looks, what it may look like, the ugly, the good, the sad, the happy, the challenging, all of it. And it's all about being real and authentic. So here I am, your host, Erin Bear. And today we are talking about when you feel like you're starting over again. So, what does that look like? What does that mean? Well, lately, as I've been telling you, I've been pivoting in my life and trying to figure it all out. Sometimes when we feel like we need to pivot, we feel stuck or we feel like we're in a rut or how are we going to get past this point? And here comes Leela. This is Leela. And here, we're real, we're raw, we're authentic. We don't edit. We just roll with it. Say hi, honey. She's such a good girl, but she's interested in the plant behind me. Anyway, when you feel like you're starting over again. So what does that look like for me right now? Well, in my life, I've had to make some big shifts, some big choices, some big decisions on where I'm going from where I'm at. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm failing because I'm starting over. It just simply means I'm pivoting and starting fresh, maybe in an avenue where I've been before, or maybe even a brand new avenue. And that's okay because, you know, sometimes a fresh start is a good start. It's just returning to an experience. Maybe I've set some boundaries. Maybe I've got some new clarity. What am I talking about? Well, it's really about you and where you're at in your life. What I want to know is, do you have this urge or this sense to pivot and start over somewhere fresh, an area where you've never been? Or do you kind of want to start fresh in the area where you've been? For me, it's returning back to where I feel whole, where I feel I'm making an impact, and in that area, there are some new areas, such as the podcast. When we feel like we're starting over, we feel like we have this shame surrounding it. Like, ugh, I failed again. I have to start over again. But that's not necessarily true. And I think the shame around it stems from past failures where people maybe shamed us, told us, haha, I told you you weren't going to make it, or who do you think you are? And it kind of seeps into that whole imposter syndrome. And, we need to rethink that. We need to look at it and say, nope, I'm wiser, I'm older, I have a different sense of purpose maybe, or a different perspective. So for me, I am kind of returning to some roots, personal training, online coaching, and really digging deep into what my purpose here is on earth. So this season feels different than past resets. I have resetted multiple times in my life, whether it be career, whether it be personal, whether it be goals that I've, trying to accomplish. And this season feels different because I feel like I have more clarity. I'm more aware of what it is that I want, and I've learned from my past mistakes. I've learned from my past resets. So for you, are you in a season of starting over? Are you in a season with new clarity? Do you feel different? Or do you feel shame and heaviness with this new decision that you're trying to make on starting over again? But how can we shift that? What questions can we ask? Why do I want to start over? Why am I shifting directions? Where does that stem from? And why do I feel the need to do so in this season of my life? Do I want to feel more alive? Do I want to be appreciated? Do I want to help others? Am I tired of being abused in a certain situation? And when I say abused, I mean, from the qualities and qualities that you bring to a situation. Like maybe in your job, you're not being appreciated, you're being undervalued, you're being taken advantage of. Are you shifting and making a move in your career? In a relationship, are you just not feeling it anymore? Or maybe in an environment that you thought was thriving is not thriving anymore, and you want to be in a more growing and nurturing environment. It can be many different areas of our life where we just feel, I need to make a shift. For instance, your health goals, your fitness goals. Do you feel stuck? Like, oh, I really need to lose this weight, or I really need to get my health under control, or I really need to, stop this and start that. It can be in many different things. So for me, I have been on a journey of reclaiming my health for this past several years. I had gone through a whole stint of infertility for several years, and surgeries and treatments and so many different things that I'm finally feeling like myself again, and I'm shifting. Do I feel like I've started over and over again in this world? Yes, many times. As a retired bodybuilder, I did that for 8 years. I was on point, on track. I was healthy. I wasn't getting sick. And then I went through infertility, and my world was rocked with illness and treatments and surgeries and losses and just so many different things that in 2022, I had to make an important decision on choosing myself and my health to live a better life, to live healthy. And it's been a long journey. It's only been 3 years since my last surgery, and I'm not where I want to be. And do I feel like I have started over multiple times? Yes. But I finally feel like I'm getting alignment in the different areas of health. And health isn't just about our physical appearance or how we are inside. It's our emotional, it's our financial, it's our spiritual, mental, all the things. And there's Taco, who likes to interrupt my workouts. But I know how important it is to start over if you feel like you need to. And it's not necessarily starting over again, it's redirecting. It's another type of pivot. Starting over is another type of pivot, and that's okay. Hey, Taco, we're not going to chew on that. Again, authentic conversations. Here we are in the blue chair where it's real and raw. So what does that look like to you? Are you starting over somewhere? Are you pivoting? Are you taking a detour because it makes more sense than the path that you were on? How does this season feel different from your past resets? And it's okay to reset, because if something's not working, we pause, we reflect, and we reset. And it's okay not to have all the answers. If we had all the answers, then we would have done it probably a lot earlier than now. Sometimes we need to feel the feels. Sometimes we need to have those simple failures, or those more complicated failures where we're like, oh, that didn't work out so well. Or, you have a moment of clarity because of a situation that occurs. You're like, okay, that did not work out like I thought it was going to. I thought this was the right decision. Nope. Let's rewind. Let's take a step back. Let's reflect, and let's redirect. And it's okay. Because the idea of starting over makes us think we're at square one, that we're back at the very beginning, that we lost all of this momentum. When in reality, we haven't lost any momentum. We have gained momentum through the knowledge that we have gained, through the wisdom we have collected, through the growth we have gone through. Starting over doesn't mean from square one. It's a spiral staircase. I mean, we can go up, and we can kind of maybe go back down and be like, oh, there's a new spiral staircase that we can go up. So in the moment of reflecting, in the moment of feeling like we're starting over again, we also have to remember that we do not owe an explanation to anyone. We don't have to justify our shift. We don't have to ask permission to start over, or say, oh, is this okay? Or am I doing the right thing? Only you know the answers to that. And if in your gut you feel more grounded in your decision to shift, more grounded to feel like you need to start over or pivot or take a detour or divert somewhere else, then that is what you need to do. That is the thing that is important, is how you feel about it, not how anybody else feels about it. It's not a circle. We're not going up and then down. It might feel we're going in a circle. It might feel that it's a constant repeat, but it's a spiral staircase. We gain some knowledge, we shift. We gain some knowledge, we shift. Oh, wait, let me go back. Okay, maybe I took the wrong way. Maybe I took the wrong door on the spiral staircase. Maybe I needed to go to a different door. And that is okay. It's your moment Whether you want to shift, you want to pivot, you want to pause, in all of that, you need to reflect, and then you need to redirect yourself, whether that be physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, financially, whatever it may look like. It's your life. You're not starting over. You're redirecting. And that's a big difference. That's a pivot. We talked about this in the previous episode. It's okay to pivot. Because here's the thing, starting over isn't failure. It's returning with experience, boundaries, and new clarity. And maybe more focus, maybe more determination, better standards in those areas of your life. For me, I've had moments where I'm like, oh, I gotta start all over. I have to find a new job, or I have to find a new way, or I have to find a new environment, or a new friend, or whatever. You know, they say that things happen in our life, whether it's for a moment, a season, or a lifetime. And that's the same thing when it comes to starting over. We just have to find a new way, a new direction. Maybe we gain new knowledge that we're like, that wasn't the greatest decision, but this one, I feel like this one may be better. With all the experience and boundaries and clarity I have, I think this feels better. I've gone through that in many moments of my life where I'm like, this feels so good. And then I'm going and going with momentum, and then I automatically take a halt. And I'm like, whoa, back up, rewind, reset, let's reflect. So in your life, where do you feel that you're starting over, but returning with experience, boundaries, and new clarity? I'd love for you to share with me, because we're all on this journey together. And sometimes it may feel like we're not, but we are. We can gain clarity through conversations, through community. And my cats are fighting, so if you hear that, I do apologize. But where in your life are you taking a pause, redirecting, and then maybe you're resetting? And that's okay. Only you have to answer to you. You don't have to ask permission from anybody. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You are what matters. And how you feel about it. That's what I want you to hold on to. That's what I want you to realize. Is you're not starting over. You're just redirecting. You're resetting. It's like when an athlete, whether it's a golfer or a runner for the track team or a football game, have you noticed there's always moments when they're resetting? For a golfer, it's every shot. For a track runner, someone who runs, whether it be the hurdles or the mile or the dash, they're resetting for every race. It's not that they're starting over, they're starting fresh, they're starting new. For a football team, every play is a reset or restart. But it doesn't disqualify what they've already done in that golf game or that track meet or that football game. We have moments, meets or games or tournaments, right? It's a block. It's like a chapter. It's a chapter. Just because it finishes doesn't mean we have to start all over and reread or redo those chapters. We're just simply turning the page. Redirecting. Starting fresh. Doesn't mean you have to go all the way back and start over. So, in your life, where are you continuing your journey? It may look different from the chapter before, but you're still continuing it. You're not starting over. What I want you to remember is when you have to stop and pause, that's when you can get clarity. You can realize what boundaries you have to put into place. And the wisdom that you brought along can help you grow and become the person you were always meant to be. Because you are more. And that's what we really want to strive, is to be the more of who we are, just as we are. Well, this is the episode of When You Feel Like You're Starting Over Again with Blue Chair Conversations. I would love to hear the insight, the reflections that you've come to realize. And how are you redirecting in the areas of your life? What does that look like? I'm your host, Erin Barrett. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Blue Chair Conversations. And remember, you are more.